CCTV Camera World is proud to provide support for products purchased from our website. If you purchased your product from another vendor, please contact the vendor you purchased from for further assistance. In this video, we're going to show you how to enable P2P for remote viewing on your NVR or DVR. First, we're going to right-click, go to Main Menu. Down here under the Management Network Settings. Then we're going to go to the P2P tab. Now notice we've already got DHCP set up on our NVR, and we already have an IP address from our router. So we're going to come down here to the P2P tab. We're going to see that it's disabled here, and we want to make sure that this is enabled. So we're going to enable it. Click Apply. Now we're going to go ahead and click Back, and go back into Network, into P2P again, and we're going to want to make sure that this status says that it's online. This will allow us to scan the device serial number here into our cell phone app to get up and running with our remote viewing in no time. Now in this part of the video, I'm going to show you how to actually open the app and add your system to the app. So first, I'm going to open the app. You're going to want to make sure you download it from the App Store or Google Play Store if you haven't done so already. And it says it would like to send notifications, and I'm going to tap Allow. That's how you allow push notifications. If you'd like it to send you critical alerts, that means if you're in focus or do not disturb mode, you still get notifications from your camera system. So I'm going to tap Allow for this as well. You can read the software license and service agreement and privacy policy if you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and tap and agree to them and tap Next. And this is the splash screen, so it's important that you have to actually tap and drag. So I'm tapping and holding with my thumb and dragging to the right-hand side. And you have to get through this little slideshow, and then at the bottom you'll see this blue arrow that will let you continue. So again, you want to tap and hold and drag to get through those different screens to get to the blue arrow and tap to the next screen. So now it says to be careful and select the correct country. Kind of sets up the language for the app and the localization. So you're going to want to make sure you tap on United States at the top and choose United States. If you're in another country, of course, choose the country that you're in, and then tap OK at the top right-hand side. Now here's a very, very important screen. You do not want to create an account because that will bind your system to the app and your account inside of the app. Now keep in mind, this account is completely separate from the login to your NVR or DVR. It's only to log into the app and bind your system to it. If you want to share access to your system or cameras, it makes it more difficult if you create an account and log in. So we recommend actually skipping this process by tapping the X icon at the top left-hand side of the app to skip the login and sign up process. So I'm going to do that now. So now it's asking to find devices on my local network. We're going to add it using the unique P2P ID for the system, so we don't need to allow this. And then it needs permission. Since we don't want it to scan our local network, or we don't need it to, then I'm going to tap Got It. We don't need to actually configure that permission because we don't need local network access since we're accessing it over the internet. So now I need to tap the plus icon at the top right-hand side to begin adding my NVR or DVR to the app. So I tap that. We're going to choose the Scan QR code option. So now it reminds me that I should log in again, and like I said, it's harder to share the system if you log in, so I'm going to tap Maybe Later. And then now it says it would like to access my camera. Now it's important to note that you can find this QR code in two places. You can either find it in the network and P2P settings page of your NVR or DVR, or you can also find it printed on a label that's affixed to the top of your recorder. And that will be above the login information for your recorder. So I'm going to tap Allow Access, and then I'm going to show you both methods for scanning the code. So I'm going to tap Allow. I already have it aimed at my recorder's network and P2P settings page. Here you can see there's network and the P2P page, and then you want to scan the code on the right-hand side. Now, depending on the brightness of your monitor and the ability for your camera to see the QR code, you may have to shuffle around a bit or tap on the camera page in order for it to come into focus. Mine was relatively quick, but you may not have that easy of a time, so you may want to, again, tap on the screen or adjust the brightness for your monitor or television. So now I'm going to show how to scan the QR code on the top. It's actually a little bit quicker, so I'm going to tap the back arrow at the top right-hand side. I already have the camera pointed at the top of my recorder. I'll show you here. This is the top of my recorder, and it was able to see it without even putting the QR code into focus. So you may have an easier time scanning the code on the top of your recorder rather than off of the screen. Either way, I have that serial number here inside of my app. Our systems do not use security codes, so we're going to go ahead and leave that empty and then tap Next. In here, we need to choose the correct device type. You may also be adding just a single camera, in which case you'll just want to choose camera and then choose the camera type that you have, whether it's a wireless camera, wired camera, or PTZ camera. In my instance, again, we're adding a DVR or NVR, and I just so happen to be adding an NVR, so I could tap on the NVR XVR, or I could have just scrolled down a little bit to the NVR XVR category. Now again, it's very, very important that you choose the device type that you're adding, or else the app might act strange or it may not connect at all. So again, I'm going to choose NVR because I'm adding an NVR. In here we can see that unique P2P serial number or ID already automatically entered. Now we need to give my system a name. You can name it whatever you'd like. I'm just going to name mine Office NVR because it's in the office. And then the username is admin. And then again, that password that I'm entering here can be found on a label on the top of your recorder or on the green pamphlet that you likely received with your system, with a lot of helpful hints and tips on there. So I've entered that password in. I'm going to go ahead and tap done on my keyboard. And then you can tap the eye icon to ensure that the password was entered successfully. That's probably one of the major hiccups that people run into is they enter the password incorrectly, or they try using a different username and password for a completely separate account. Again, this is the login information that you would use to log into your system as though you were using it with a monitor or mouse. That can be found on the label on the top of your recorder or on that green pamphlet. After entering that password and username, I can tap Save at the top right-hand side. And if it's successful, you'll see this page with the green check mark and the UPnP option. For improved performance, you're going to want to leave that option enabled and then tap OK at the bottom, in which case the app should automatically connect to your system and pull a camera up from it. If I double tap on this camera, I can bring it into full screen or rotate my phone to bring it into full screen. Hopefully this video has helped you add your system to the phone. If you have any issues adding the system to your phone, then make sure you scroll down on our Dummies Guide to the troubleshooting section. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.